I'm joined with Brad Thorn. Brad is a legend of both Rugby League and Rugby Union, Premiership winner in Rugby League, World Cup winner in Rugby Union, Bledisloe Cup winner. You've done it all, mate. Welcome to Holt Street. Welcome to News Corp. How are you finding it?
Very good, mate. Thanks for having me. I'm loving being in here. It's a pretty impressive building, but yeah, the thing about it, winning all those titles, it helps when you play in good teams and you play with Alan Langer and Glenn Lazarus or Dan Carter or Rich McCaw. You tend to win, a few things. So yeah, very fortunate.
Mate, you've got a book coming out, and we're talking just before. We weren't massive into doing media and that during your career, but a lot of people around both Rugby Union and Rugby League consider you a great mind of the game. Talk to me a bit about this book. What's gone into it? What was the thought process behind it? Why was it so important for you to write this?
Yeah, well, I sort of got approached around doing a book, a decade ago when I was still in my playing career, or 15 years ago, and I was just flat out. So I had 22 years as a player and then another 8 years as a head coach. So 30-year block from the age of 17 till I was like 48, and I finally had a break, stepped down from the Reds, and it was time to, if I was going to write something or do something, that was the time. It's taken about a year and a half, and it's a solid process. Dan Cleaver did a really good job writing it, did sort of interviews with him, and we going through the book, trying to get it finished. I feel like there's a few things that could be taken from it over that period of time. I learned a few things, had a few experiences. So if someone picks up and reads it, I like to think it's a positive. So yeah, I haven't, in the book, I don't bag anyone. Only one I have critique is myself.
Yeah.
But I get to talk about a lot of guys that I play with. That it's just nice acknowledging them. It's sort of half autobiographical, like it's in from my youth going through, but it's also like a lessons learnt, like different things that I sort of learnt along the way. So it's sort of a bit and bit there. So yeah.
Well, mate, what's the when does this book come out? When can we expect to read it?
Yeah, well, it's actually came out yesterday, and so it's going to be out and about. You see more of it, I guess, as they stock, the bookstores. But it's like I said, fair bit of work's gone into it. If you have interest in league, you have interest in union. That 30 years covered a fair bit of time.
Yeah.
I talk about making it into league as a young guy, what that took. My father had a big play in that, around motivating me, to get my mindset right around that. To talk about making that transition to rugby, how hard that was, and then going back and forth to league and union. Talk about other things, personal things. I'm a Christian. My Christian faith's really important. I've always had a bit of a challenge around anxiety in my life, different things like that. So there's a bit of stuff in there, and obviously I also finished head coaching, pretty much with no experience. So I went to rugby with no experience, and I head coach with no experience, and that certainly tested me in humbling sort of periods of time, but persevering and trying to get some sort of result, yeah.
We don't want to give too much of the book away, right?
Yeah.
Because we want people to go and read it. But I find it quite fascinating that this book's coming out at this certain period of time, because there's a lot going on with Rugby League, there's a lot going on with Rugby Union, and there's a lot of crossover at the moment.
Yeah, it's been interesting, eh?
Yeah, I would say, and you probably would not like me saying this, but you were probably one of the first pioneers of the crossover, very successful with the Broncos, whether it was in Super League or when the NRL was formed, 98, 2000, 97 with the Super League.
Yep.
Crossover to Union,
Yep.
You have much success there. Then you come back to League.
Yep.
2006, you win a comp there again. Why was there so much crossover for you? What was it that dragged you from one sport to the other?
Initially, because I was born in New Zealand, I came across at the age of 9 years of age. As a boy, we came over to Australia for opportunity, mum and dad, like a lot of Kiwis. And I went to a state school in Australia. I'd never heard of league. All we know in New Zealand, for 100 odd years is rugby, the All Blacks. When you're born as a Kiwi kid, you want to be an All Black. So I played under 6s, under 8s. Came to Australia, and after a couple of years of getting established, we started off in a caravan park and whatever, coming into this country, and Mum and Dad said you can play sport. I went to a state school, and over in Australia, mainly the private schools play rugby. So my mates played league. So that's how why I played league. And I had some talent. My dad motivated me, had a good chat to me when I was around 16 around, hey, you're going to make the most of this talent you have. You need to, get fit and get your mindset right. I thrived from that time. I brought work rate to my talent. I was a lazy kid before that, and I got an opportunity with the Broncos, and like you said, had that success. The thing was, at that time though, Union wasn't professional, so I couldn't have gone across unless it went professional. My dad passed away in 1995 from a heart attack. A huge loss for me. He's 46 years old. I was 19. But we talked around things, and we heard that it could go pro, in the mid 90s. This is about 92, 93, and he said maybe if you get some stuff done in league, maybe you could go back and chase that dream of being an All Black. That was a real driver for me. So that's why I initially went across. I didn't want to be an old man wondering, would I have ever, if I went across, could I have been All Black? If I'd never gone to Australia, would I have, had the same sort of, projective? So then when I went across, I obviously got to play for the All Blacks. I got to a space where I was about to turn 30 years of age, and I thought, you're probably coming near the end of your career. I've had this great experience. I represent the All Blacks 2003 World Cup, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to go back and play with my mates at the Broncos and see if I can win another title. So that was, and then maybe finish off in England. A couple of years in England to finish off. So I went back, got to achieve that stuff. Then when I was looking to finish overseas in England, just wasn't much, opportunity there, which frustrated me. I was uninjured, I achieved a lot of things, and I sort of thought, hang on, I've got two trades, like a chippy and a sparky, I'm not going to go across in league, I'm going to go across in my other trade, which is rugby.
Yeah.
But first I'm going to go back to New Zealand where I feel comfortable, to the Crusaders. I've been out of the game for 3 years, play a super season, try and win a title, which we did, and then I'll go to Europe, but I'll do it doing rugby. What happened was, within 3 games, my manager got a call from the NZRU saying we want to sign him, long term for a couple of years, and then that stretched out to 4 years. Won a World Cup in 2011, and then played another 4 years where I went around Japan, all in England, and crazy. Couldn't have. I was a kid who dreamed big. I couldn't have dreamt. It just how it played out. I just thank God for just all those experiences, and it was such a cool opportunity to be part of those clubs and some of those great players. Yeah.
Your motivations seem very deep rooted from obviously the time that you were born, where you were born, and what you were doing.
Yep.
Last week, Angus Crichton announces he's moving to the Wallabies, World Rugby. Joe Sawali's already done so quite successfully. Joseph Manu and Mark Morgan-Itwaze, coincidentally, all Roosters players. Yeah. But their motivations are a bit different. They've obviously, some just want to try their hand at something new. Others, like for Sawali, he played Union growing up.
Angus
played at Scots.
Yeah.
What do you think it's coming down to now? Because why are these players all of a sudden wanting to move over?
I think it's a global game. It's global. There's a difference there. Those World Cups are special. There's something else. So to play at that level, it's pretty cool, playing in front of 94,000 at Soweto Stadium and Nelson Mandela
Nelson
Stadium in Soweto with crowd singing the anthem. It's awesome being in Argentina, Europe. It's such a such a global game, and there's real competition, across the countries, in great, England, Ireland, France, Australia looks like it's on the climb again, All Blacks, Argentina. So that is, I'd imagine, appealing. If you look at Angus Crichton, he's played Origin, played for Australia. He's won premierships. I think, is he late 20s, 29 or something?
Yeah.
So,
next year.
So, once again, I had this, I think I said just before, I didn't want to be an old man wondering, what if I had a crack, and 2027 World Cup is going to be pretty special in Australia. The last time was 2003, it was an awesome World Cup. So I guess, there's guys who want to test themselves and I respect to them, yeah.
What do you think about Rugby Australia's kind of pursuit of these league guys? Do you think that, it's a good thing? Do you think they might be neglecting some of their younger talent? Because for yourself, it would have been a little bit different. You're one player coming over, but there are a lot of players coming over, and they're also not afraid to go out in the media and say, we would love to have this guy, we would love to do this. What are your thoughts on that?
It can be hard for some of the local, the national talent coming through, because a big money deal goes to a league guy and you get other guys, busting their butt trying to make it. But if you have strategic, Lottie De Kerry came across, Wendell Saylor, they were in the 2003 World Cup, they played in the final of the Wallabies, Matt Rogers, you would say they made a pretty good impact. So if it's measured, well thought out, you've got to invest in your grassroots and the guys who are loyal to the game and giving their best effort. But the thing I'd also say, Tyson, is I grew up in a time when the game rugby was amateur, and All Blacks with Matthew Ridge and these sort of guys would go to league. It would be a one-way traffic.
Yeah. And
that was sort of frustrating. So it's sort of gone both ways, where some rugby guys have gone to league, some rugby league guys have gone to rugby.
Yeah.
It's for those guys pretty awesome opportunities, isn't it? So if they can, to be a jewel in the national, or to experience State of Origin, or playing for Australia and Rugby League, the Kangaroos, to playing at Twickenham or somewhere in Rugby Union, heck of a achievement, heck of a experience.
So you wouldn't say that the Wallabies are almost too reliant on league guys?
I don't think. They've got Suali. They're bringing across Crichton. Have they got anyone else?
Coming back.
He was a rugby guy.
He was a rugby guy, but it's more that they've gone out now specifically to build for this World Cup with league guys, and it's purely just do you think that there is too much emphasis on these guys and not enough emphasis on the guys in the sport already, or do you think that this is a good thing and this is going to make the Wallabies stronger and a contender next year?
I think it'll bring some strength, because Suali is another year into the game. He's been doing some pretty good stuff, hasn't he? So what's the name of the Roosters guy again? With the
Mark Nwanganituwaza.
Yeah, you're good at saying that name. But Mark, didn't he bring the house down? How good to see him play so well. So it's the biggest stage. Australia wants a good result in there. It's like the Olympics. You want to get some gold medals in the home nation. It could be the Lions was a really good success as far as Wallabies. It was touch and go. They could have won that series. Everyone was writing them off, and packed stadiums. And this World Cup could be a real springboard for Australian rugby to to get good results, and for the numbers of kids playing the game, and just for the the health of rugby in Australia. You want to maximise that, and you want to ideally have the best players.
Do you think that it's sustainable? Do you think that it's more than just a short-term fix to get these guys in?
I think if you, like a short-term sort of thing, it's like you want to build on top of this. Yeah, because there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of kids who go to private schools and they play rugby, but they've always been league guys and they go to league. There's guys who are rugby kids, but sometimes a lot of those guys go to league as well because there's such a different financial, especially in the backs. That's the hard place to, in rugby, like props and locks. Locks, your 6'7", 8" locks don't necessarily suit league as much, props, whatever. So the real battle is often over maybe the loose forwards a little bit, but especially the backs. So it would be nice for the rugby to be able to secure the young talent from grassroots that are rugby. There's going to always be league and stuff, but to be able to just compete, I think it's been pretty hard of late because league's humming. It's doing really well, but it's financial. It's so much more. With the money that they have.
Yeah, in Australia, it's probably a little bit more professional than what rugby union competitions are.
Yeah,
you were around when the Broncos were huge in the 90s and 2006, so probably the height of the Broncos' popularity.
Yep.
You've seen how popular they've become now. Again, the number one team in the competition.
Yep.
What's that like? Was it a surprise? Because they had a couple of down years where it looked like they would struggle to really get back. Now you've got the likes of Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, some of the popular players in the competition, and they seem to be on cloud nine.
Like Reece Walsh was a different guy to the 2 years earlier. He basically attacked that final, didn't he? And the thing that was different was the Broncos was around their defence. They were so much, they were. Sometimes you got to lose one to win one. But obviously Madge did a great job. Kevy Walters built that whole foundation of it, and they were there to do business. And it's such a hype. Being in Brisbane, it's we've got the Dolphins now, but the Broncos have always been pretty big, even in Queensland. So. They got the job done, and they will be looking to line up again and to build on that, and it's great for the game up there, isn't it?
How do they go back to back? Because when you played for the Broncos in 2006, you win the comp in 2006, and you just scrape into the 8 the year after.
Massive. Oh, sorry.
There's a drop off, isn't it? It's hard to do.
It's hard to do two things, to winning the comp is no low injury rate and momentum. There's often two things. Wayne used to say that. 2007, we lost a lot of our back line. So we made the 8, and we lost Lockyer, we lost a whole heap of guys. So that's, injury toll, and then there's no momentum. We made the 8, but that was it. So that's going to be big. Great preparation, luck with injury, but you make your own luck with your preparation and stuff. And there's always that origin. You'd say there'd be more selections.
Yeah.
So that that lull that can come after that.
Yeah.
It's being able to absorb that and then build that momentum like they did this year. Canberra, Penrith, come from behind and against the Storm. It's there's plenty of opportunity for the Broncos. They're a year older, more experienced. The key word is humility. Stay humble, because everyone's gonna get a new sort of target now.
Yeah.
And so it's not just be where you are. You need to continue to improve. Others are coming. So, just that work ethic, that humility, and that now you have the taste for it. Continue likewise like last year where you're putting the yards in. What was it? The spew buckets were out. Whatever. That was normal in my era. Guys would spew before training because they knew how hard it was going to be, or before games. So that's just normal. So if they have that mindset and they care about each other enough, care about the cause, care about who they represent, and individually and collectively, given their best effort, they can do great things.
So Madge is the guy then, I'm assuming, for you. You think that he's the guy that can take this team further?
Well, he's, you got Kiwi Walters took him from, was it the Spoon?
The Spoon, yeah.
Yeah, to a grand final, and then the following year, there was a falling out or whatever. So he's built that. Madge came in and he whether they were a year older, that he helped. There's some steel into the guys, and I don't see any reason why. Madge will be, and his staff will bring their best. The players and their staff, they can, with the potential they have. Payne Haas, he's probably since Glenn Lazarus, one of the better props you ever see. The work rate, players all over the park, they're pretty complete, but they've got to do that hard work again, and they'll have a target on their back. That can often be a good thing because it means every team brings their best against you. It actually can work as a strength where you have to front every time, and it keeps you at a iron sharpening iron. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see.
You mentioned Payne. You were a big dominant, forward in your time. Payne's a big dominant forward. There's been a lot of talk about Payne potentially making a transition similar to what you made, going to Union. Do you think he's suited? Do you think it'd be a good decision for Payne?
It's hard in the forwards. That's what I'd say. If he's a flanker, number 8 or something, number 6, keeps it simple. Perhaps lock in front row and that. No. Number 8's a really detailed position, connection to the 9, the backs. So, if he's up for that challenge, but when I talk about rugby to people, it's like the decathlon at the Olympics. You've got all these, decathlon, they've got all these 100-metre sprint, shot put, all these crazy different things. Power scrummaging, lineouts, rucks, sort of breakdown, pick and go, mauling, kick-off receipts where you got to work out where it is and catch above your head, 4 metres in the air. There's a lot to rugby set piece to forward play, and it was a hard road for me to learn it. I had to work my ass or butt off,
ass.
To finally start to become instinctive, and it tested me. But if he was determined to have a crack at that, then you just wish him well. Good on you.
And you were around during the Super League era. Again, it's funny that all of this is happening now and we're getting the opportunity to talk to you. The threat of R360 during, last year, it's been held off for a year, but apparently it's coming back and it's going to be a thing. Do you see signs of what it was like back then?
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of money involved. That would have been similar. Super League's just like, bang, just incredible. The two competing teams drove up the wages and all the salaries. So, we'll see what that does. I don't know too much about it, but it's, I guess, it's postponed for another year. I guess there'd be a lot involved in getting that, especially like a global. Ours was just in a country. That would be a big operation, I imagine, to take on. So we'll see. I don't know not really enough. Or
what about for the players that are considering moving, right? Like what it was like with the Super League and players with jumping ship. After seeing how everything turned out there and seeing how all that went down, what would your advice be to those players? Would it be to take the risk? Would it be to
you want to see something pretty stable, and you want to work together with the game. The game has provided all these opportunities for all these players to make a great living and great experience at State of Origin, all these sort of things. So it's pretty cool. Like, league's humming in Australia and New Zealand, and the Polynesian countries are enjoying it. So yeah, keep that in mind. And you know, the way it sort of took a step another year, how, you know, if you're going to commit to something, how certain is it? And you know, I guess it's just something to look at for each individual. You know, to be fair, I don't have too many thoughts on it. I'm just a guy who just sees how things playing out. I don't massively have an opinion on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, man. How are the Broncos going to go this year?
Oh, come on, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd like them to go back to back, but when you're a player, you sort of cringe when you will hear that, because sometimes because it's unnecessary pressure, or you know, it feeds the other opposition team. So you know, yeah, that would be cool for them. That's a great challenge in front of them, and like I said, with the potential they have, and they realised that last year, if they can work hard again and stay uninjured and get some momentum and you know, and bring what they, you know, that attitude and that togetherness that they brought, they can achieve, you know, great things, in my opinion.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, mate.
Appreciate it. Good on you.